Hello, my friends. There's so much to get to today, but I want to and need to start with Taylor Swift. It's her album release week, and as always happens, leading up to the album's release on Friday, there is a wave of attention and publicity around Taylor Swift, her music, her life, everything. I have just read 3 articles, though, about the music. First, it was the New York Times last night, then Bloomberg this morning, and now I just read an article in Variety stating that Taylor Swift is going to withhold her new album, Reputation, from streaming. She did the same thing last time when she released 1989, but that was many years ago now. And the landscape of music has changed so much. I love Taylor Swift. I love supporting artists, but once you've opted into the streaming model, it's really hard to go back. I used to be one of those old people who would only buy music up until the beginning of this year. Then some old friends of mine convinced me to switch to streaming. I'm like, well, if these old fogies are doing streaming, then I can too. So I tried it and I loved it. And now I'm hooked. Like, once you've tasted all you can eat, why would you pay for more? Now, I am happy to pay more for music. I pay my $9.99 a month for Apple Music, and I also get music if I want to through my Amazon Prime. If artists feel they're not getting paid enough, I'm happy to pay more. I'm happy to double that. You know, I go to the movies once or twice a month. That's like $20+. I'm happy to put the same amount of money into the bank accounts of artists. And then also, I think streaming, now I'm at a place where I believe that I think streaming has only helped music in that it's a great way for people to discover new artists that they weren't able to before. Let me put it to you this way. I think that Taylor's decision to withhold her new album from streaming providers is based in greed. And she's already so rich, and she's already going to make so much money on the tour. You know, why punish her fans that are paying to legally stream music? Because you want an extra $10 from them? Or 15, however much it's going to be? I think that's lame. I'm sorry, I would tell her to her face. I'll tell that to any artist. Let's have a conversation about streaming. If you're unhappy with it, okay, don't put it on there. It's your body of work. You created it. You dictate what should happen. But this is about you. This isn't about artists as a whole. You know, Taylor Swift put her music on streaming earlier this year. Taylor Swift released music with Zayn Malik earlier this year on streaming. If she was very anti-streaming, she should have not put it on there, I think. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, it's not known when she will add her music back to streaming. So, and I just didn't even understand how this works, because there are already a few songs that are on streaming off this new album. Those may be erased. So if you had added them to your library of streaming, you may not have access to them anymore. I think Adele, when she releases her next album, she won't withhold it from streaming. She can't. The world has changed too much. We are living in a streaming world. I don't know. I think it's really antiquated to think that you can go back once we've already established that this is the new norm. I'm disappointed, but not shocked. I've said this repeatedly. Taylor Swift is following the Beyonce model. She thinks she's Beyonce. She's making decisions as if she were Beyonce. She's looked at Beyonce and seen, oh, look, you know, she doesn't need to speak to the interviewers, and she's still incredibly successful, and she doesn't even need radio support. She's an album artist now, and Taylor Swift has been an album artist as well. I don't know. I would also say that Beyonce's in a league of her own because she's been around a lot longer and she's paid her dues longer. And Taylor Swift's got a few more years before she's Beyonce level. And that's not the only Taylor Swift news that has gotten a lot of people heated this week. Also, Taylor Swift is making headlines because her lawyer threatened to sue a blogger for an opinion piece that was stupid that the blogger wrote about how Taylor Swift is this idol for the alt-right and for neo-Nazis and white supremacists, and may have intimated that by her silence, Taylor Swift is co-signing that. The blogger reached out to the ACLU, who has agreed to defend them if Taylor Swift goes on and sues them as threatened to do so. They also want a retraction and an apology, Taylor's lawyers. I see no problem with that stupid blogger. Do I agree with what they wrote? No. But so long as they couched it in opinion and not fact, say whatever the hell you want. It's nothing new that Taylor's team is trying to control the narrative. They are very controlling, and you know what? That's not a bad thing. If you can try to control it, and if you are able to control it somehow, then great. I see both sides here. I see the blogger's point of view, and I see Team Taylor's point of view. But going back to Beyonce for a minute, Beyonce just rises above. I don't think she cares, to be honest. Beyonce just ignores everything and keeps being Beyonce, but that's not how Taylor's team operates. You know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if this Reputation era isn't flawless. It doesn't matter if it's not everything I want it to be, because every artist has their misstep, okay? You're allowed that. We are forgiving, especially once you've reached Taylor Swift level. I mean, look back at Kelly Clarkson's career. She had that My December album, which was a misstep. Look back at Rihanna's career. She had that Rated R album, which was a misstep. I mean, Russian Roulette was the lead single off of that album, and that was a bomb. And then the second single, I forget, Hard, was also a stiff. She eventually got a hit with Rude Boy on that album. But look at Rihanna. You know, she overcame that. It was a misstep, and, you know, it happens. Thankfully, though, this is Taylor's first misstep, and I would say it's a misstep, even though a misstep doesn't mean a flop. It doesn't mean it's a failure. But 2 missteps in a row, album after album, that's when you start to get into trouble, I think. But I do want to talk about some things other than Taylor Swift. But first, let me talk about Taylor Swift some more. Diplo has some strong words about Taylor Swift. In a new article where he was interviewed by Rolling Stone magazine, the DJ, producer, artist said this: "Music is in the hands of the kids. Streaming is literally what kids want to listen to over and over again. They want to listen to Rockstar and Bodak Yellow. They don't want to listen to, like, Look What You Made Me Do. That music doesn't relate to them at all. I don't think it ever did. They were only given that by radio and marketing budgets. I'm impressed with Post Malone. I can relate to him more than Taylor Swift." Now, I agree with a lot of what he said, but there is an underlying message to what Diplo said, which is that young kids don't like pop music. And I do not agree with that whatsoever. I think young kids love pop music, and old kids. I mean, look at Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. That was a monster hit this year, and that was power pop. I think that Diplo spoke a lot of truth, but it was also tainted by Taylor haterade. Yeah. Now on to some non-Taylor Swift news. I am very concerned for Lamar Odom. If you missed it, he was partying at a club, the last place that a recovering addict should be. He fainted, and his team said that he was dehydrated. A new report today out of People magazine claims that Lamar is spiraling out of control. He's gonna end up dead. No one can save him but him, and it doesn't seem like he's very interested in saving himself. Sad. In other news that has gotten the people talking, some folks got really upset that Marilyn Manson performed in concert in San Bernardino a couple of days ago with a microphone attached to a gun. Clearly they're not Marilyn Manson fans and haven't been to a Marilyn Manson concert before. What do you expect? That's Marilyn Manson for you. Also in music-related news, according to the New York Post, Mariah Carey had weight loss surgery recently. Whatever makes her happy. That's just a Band-Aid, as I've said before, and oftentimes people that get weight loss surgery will gain it again. There are no shortcuts, people. You need to eat healthily most of the time and be active. It's as simple as that. Speaking of Mariah, she has signed a new deal in Las Vegas. Mimi is going to be heading to the Venetian, a much smaller theater than the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. I hated Mariah's show with Lionel Richie this summer. It was sloppy, it was cheap, but I loved her Vegas show. So hopefully it'll be good. It can't be a sloppy mess. Speaking of sloppy messes, Chris Rock was standing up, doing his stand-up routine in New York City at the Comedy Cellar when he made some jokes about Harvey Weinstein, and he also joked that he won't hire women because they, quote, cry rape for money. That's me not laughing at that joke. If you want to read more about that, I've got the details up on PerezHilton.com. Also, Kevin Spacey's brother continues to say some very damning things about not just their upbringing, but about Kevin Spacey himself, calling him a monster. I've got all the details on that up on my website. On to some lighter news. Kim Kardashian's best friend, self-proclaimed heterosexual Jonathan Shaban, is, according to him, changing his name to Food God. Speaking of Kardashian land, Kim Kardashian's coming out with a new app that already exists that helps people, shop for clothes. If you take a photo of what somebody's wearing or a screen grab, that exists already, but she'll probably make a lot of money because Kim K. Also, Tyga is calling out Scott Disick, posting a screen grab of Scott's dating profile, even though he is dating Sophia Richie. What is the etiquette for that? Like, how soon after you start dating somebody do you have to update it or delete it, your dating profile? I wonder. In other news that's dating related, Nick Jonas has got himself a new girlfriend. He is dating model Georgia Fowler. Bueller. Congratulations to her and him. Also, Rosie O'Donnell's got herself a new girlfriend, 22 years younger. They've been dating not that long, but they're already saying, I love you. Rosie knows how to pull. I gotta take some lessons from her. Also, speaking of female comedians, Chelsea Handler says that she does not masturbate. Seriously. She says, quote, in my adult life, I don't think I've ever masturbated. First of all, I don't have the fucking time. Second, it seems depressing. If I have 10 minutes, I'm sleeping. I'm not fucking jerking off. Well, that sounds depressing to me. It's not like she's having sex all the time. I love masturbation and porn. Get it? Zendaya says in a new interview that she's going to be celebrating her 21st birthday coming up soon with no alcohol, and that she doesn't even like going out and is a grandma. I hope my children are like Zendaya when they grow up. I love her. And that's that. I love you for watching. This is a longer video. Thank you if you made it this far. You rock. Wait, hold on. Cameo by Teddy Hilton. Cameo. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Like I said, I truly love you. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave me a comment below, share, and if you haven't done so already, follow me.